Gina Haspel on Wednesday refused to condemn the CIA's past use of harsh interrogation tactics as immoral, but vowed not to return to such practices, during a tense hearing on her bid to lead the spy agency under President Donald Trump. Haspel's performance before the Senate Intelligence Committee left most Democrats still resistant to her nomination, particularly given her efforts to defend the CIA's divisive post-9/11 interrogation program, which included waterboarding. Story continued below, but she still appears on track to win confirmation, if narrowly, after Senator Joe Manchin, DW, VA, came out in support Wednesday afternoon. Manchin, a key swing vote on the intelligence panel, gave her a much-watched hug before her hearing began and could give political cover to other red state Democrats facing difficult re-elections in November. Even so, Haspel's confirmation isn't a sure thing yet, despite GOP bullishness ahead of a likely vote later this month, with the Senate divided 50-49 given Sen. John McCain's RR's absence, the opposition of Sen. Rand Paul, or Kentucky, means that Haspel needs an otherwise united GOP front, or another Democrat to join Manchin in the yes camp. Throughout the hearing, Haspel sought to walk a line between contrition about the agency's past and confidence in its future, with mixed results. Sen. Kamala Harris, D-Caliph, came out against Haspel later Wednesday after saying she was very troubled by the nominee not directly answering repeated questions about whether the CIA's interrogation program was immoral. By signing up, you agree to receive email newsletters or alerts from Politico. You can unsubscribe at any time. I don't believe that torture works, Haspel said, adding, I believe that, in the CIA's program, and I'm not attributing this to enhanced interrogation techniques. I think, as many directors who have sat in this chair before me, that valuable information has been obtained from the program. Yet the 61-year-old CIA veteran of 3 decades promised in her opening remarks that, under my leadership, CIA will not restart its interrogation program. She vowed to the committee's top Democrat, Virginia Sen. Mark Warner, that, I would not allow CIA to undertake activity that I thought was immoral, even if it was technically legal, Haspel also told Sen. Susan Collins, Maine, that, I'm not going to sit here with the benefit of hindsight and judge the actions of CIA employees who use the same interrogation tactics tantamount to torture that she declared she would oppose if confirmed. While protesters interrupted the 2-hour-plus hearing several times, audible laughter came from the audience when Haspel told Collins that, I do not believe Trump would ask her to reapply interrogation tactics such as waterboarding, a form of torture later outlawed by Congress. Trump said last year that he believes waterboarding is effective, though he said he would heed recommendations from his Secretary of Defense and CIA Director. Collins, a swing vote, said she would back Haspel Monday evening. Other votes she might look to win would come from Democratic moderates such as Warner, Sen. Heidi Heitkamp of North Dakota, and Senator Claire McCaskill of Missouri. Sen. Angus King of Maine, an independent who caucuses with the minority, came out against Haspel after the hearing, citing her narrowly crafted and evasive answers to questions even as he hailed her qualifications. But Warner showed few signs of which way they would lean in the end. Warner has aligned with a handful of senators in his party in urging the CIA to declassify more information about Haspel's record and challenged the nominee Wednesday to share more of her personal views on brutal interrogations. We must hear how you would react if the president asks you to carry out some morally questionable behavior that might seem to violate a law or treaty, Warner told Haspel at the beginning of the hearing. By the end, he told Haspel she should have said that more clearly and more directly, that she perceived the CIA's Bush-era interrogation program to be immoral. Haspel did affirm, under questioning from Sen. Martin Heinrich, DNM, that she would not advocate for the destruction of videotapes depicting brutal CIA interrogations, as she did in the lead-up to that decision made by her then-boss in 2005, if faced with a similar decision now. Haspel's exchanges with Republicans on the committee were overwhelmingly favorable, and she used questioning from Sen. Dianne Feinstein, D. Caliph, to correct an assertion from former CIA lawyer John Rizzo that she was spearheading the entire interrogation program. "I like you personally very much," Feinstein told Haspel. "This is probably the most difficult committee hearing, in my more than 2 decades, I have ever sat in." In response to a written query from Feinstein, one of several liberal Democrats on the committee leading the push to further declassify material about Haspel, the nominee declined to commit to working to declassify the Senate Intelligence Panel's 2014 report on the CIA interrogation program. Feinstein had signaled Tuesday that she would oppose confirmation. Installing a candidate from outside the CIA to run the very insular agency would be a better choice, Feinstein told reporters. Republicans have touted Haspel as eminently qualified, with endorsements from multiple intelligence officials including Rizzo, and a potentially historic presence as the CIA's first female director. The GOP has largely shrugged off qualms about Haspel's record in the Bush-era interrogation program, including the cable she wrote authorizing the destruction of tapes that reportedly depicted waterboarding. "This hearing is not about programs already addressed by executive order legislation in the court of law," the Intelligence Committee's GOP chairman, North Carolina Sen. Richard Burr said on Wednesday as he opened the hearing. "It's about the woman seated in front of us. Democrats, and the coalition of liberal and civil rights groups fighting Haspel's nomination are continuing to push for more transparency about Haspel amid the Trump administration's escalating efforts to promote her." Heinrich, Harris, Feinstein and King joined Sens. Ron Wyden, Dior, and Jack Reed, DRI, on Wednesday in a letter asking that all senators be permitted to read a Department of Justice report that underpinned the decision to not seek charges in the videotape's destruction by the CIA. The ability to examine the document is now restricted to Senate leadership and members of the Intelligence Panel, the 6 Democrats said. "Yet we believe that no senator can consider Ms. Haspel's nomination in good conscience without first reviewing this document," they added.